so on this episode, we're going to talk about another Halloween theme, and it's we're all picking our three favorite cinematic versions of the devil. So, Chip,
And this came about because Sandman, the Neil Gaiman comic, which has been adapted into an audiobook, is soon going to come on Netflix. And correct me if I'm wrong, her name's Gwendolyn Christie. She played she was in Game of Thrones as
is it the one that's married to Jon Snow?
No. It's the really tall woman that played the knight. Yeah, I got her name right.
And she was in the new Star Wars. She was
she's Phasma, Captain Phasma. Right. So she's going to play Lucifer in the Sandman. But if you read Sandman and you saw the way it was drawn, he was literally drawn as David Bowie in the original one because he's this very tall, willowy, androgynous type character. And I think she's perfect casting, but people, I guess everybody assumed that the devil had a gender and it was male, or there's a large contingent of people who think that and therefore are upset. I haven't heard anybody say not my Sandman, like everybody said, not my Superman with Man of Steel, but we haven't got there yet.
I almost think some of this is done on purpose to just
drum up, that I bet there's, that if there's not a marketing company out there that does that, we need to start it.
Well, with comics, not to get too far off the subject, but how else are you going to get how can you get any attention with comics right now? From the big two.
Unless well, I mean, I guess obviously you should go out and pretend to be another nationality and write a bunch of comics on that. So then you can get a guy to come in and say, I'm not going to write for you guys anymore because this guy did this 3 years ago and everybody knew about it, but I'm going to bring it all back up again because, hey, it's news.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think no one's following comics, and the people who aren't following the big two.
No.
It's bad to say.
So they're all busy watching Titans. So just me and Alan, obviously. Like to be
well, I'm behind. I haven't even started Doom Patrol, and I really liked. I've been waiting. Now that my baseball team is done.
Who was your baseball team? Just out of curiosity.
Cincinnati Reds. They almost got in, but anyway.
Don't you think it's interesting that Ron Gant's on TV here after he left the Rays and then went to Cincinnati and ate our lunch every time he came to town?
Yeah, and he definitely had they gave up on him after that motorcycle wreck. Yep. And he went to the Reds and was great.
That was the era that I followed the Braves. That was my era.
Job. I think he does a good job. I don't like the other Braves announcers, but I've always liked him.
Yeah.
Don Sutton.
All right, that's
enough
off subject. I guess we need to.
I'll have to splice that out.
There we go.
All right, Chip. What is your Satan / the devil?
My number 3 is Viggo Mortensen in the movie The Prophecy.
I almost picked that one.
That is the creepiest devil of all the devils on my list. And the way he jumped on the guy's back and it was like he was weightless.
That scene.
And he was whispering in his ear and he goes, "Oh, when you were a small child, when you would run and jump on the bed because you were scared, I was under the bed," or something. I can't remember the whole thing. Like I got goosebumps just talking about it. Ugh. He was great. He was fantastic. And at the end, when he eats, what's his name? The Archangel's heart. And he's like, "You come home with
Gabriel.
me." And they're like, "No." Yeah, Gabriel. Or Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Such a great movie. Yet another movie franchise ruined by the sequels that were just trash. But anyway, that's fun number 3. Fantastic.
Sarah, what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is like a classic depiction of the devil. So if you're thinking like big horns, so it's where is it? Tim Curry
Korean legend.
in Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you look at that movie, and then you look at all those other crazy things like Tenacious D, it's definitely a ripoff of that devil. You know, like all of those movies and super
South
fun.
Park. The South Park.
Yeah, South
Park.
Park.
And-
It's that classic big
Yep.
red, and the horns are what's amazing because the horns are the stalk of them, I guess the base of them are bigger than like his head. So it's like, how does it stay up?
He and they what is it? They've done those new commercials like when Satan
Yeah.
got together with somebody for 2021 or
The
whatever.
matchmaking one.
I-
Yeah.
I love that movie. That movie's like one of my favorite movies, and I love Tim Curry, and I love him in that movie. And he
Yeah.
had a lot of issues because I mean this was way before the days of CGI or
Mhm.
whatever, and he had to wear all that makeup, and it took forever to get into it. And they had to bring in a guy who works with people in the CIA or people in military intelligence to how to resist torture and how to like almost meditate through torture because it was so torturous him getting
Yeah.
all of that makeup on. He was having like anxiety and panic attacks and
Imagine
everything.
he felt
from it.
like
So
claustrophobic from it.
yeah. So
for
they had to
sure.
get this specialist to come in and work with him so he could get through the makeup. And the horns were super heavy, but they came off easily. So there's tons of pictures of him standing around in the makeup, but with the horns off. You know, and then they
Yeah.
would put him on. He would film the
Hellboy.
scene. 'cause
Then
they
he
were
was in his
super heavy.
Hellboy. He looked like Hellboy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like Hellboy.
Well, it's one of the few movies that I can watch with Tom Cruise in it.
Yes, that and The Last Samurai are about the only two I can handle.
Yeah, that one was good.
The one point I wanted to bring up because I had that one as an honorable mention
Me too.
is he technically the devil because he makes the reference to Father, have you abandoned me or something like that, like he's like the son of the devil or like a minion of the devil. But no, I mean, you know, he's always evil or the devil.
I
But
thought that was a reference to Jesus.
Yeah, because he's
Oh.
darkness. He's darkness.
he's darkness. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
He's doomed. He's
Technically.
named Darkness. That's such a good movie.
Yeah, it
That's
really
such a
is.
good
I want-
Ridley Scott
that
movie.
makes me
And
want to watch that again.
That's probably, and I love that was between that and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Definitely helped with my Mia Sarah crush of my in my teen years.
For a second there, I was like, whoa, those are both not very much alike. That's right. She wasn't both.
Yeah,
That's right. Oh, I need to watch that again. That's a fan. That's great makeup. That and I don't know why, but I've always that makeup with him, and then the David Bowie makeup in
Labyrinth.
those two have always stuck out to me as just really. They're such a huge part of that movie, and the character was so well done. You know, and you had a great actor. You had somebody with charisma behind both of those.
Do you
Yeah.
know the Star Trek connection from Legend?
I do not.
Remember the witch that pops up and is like keeps like
Yeah.
running her hands over the shield.
Yeah.
That's the holograph doctor from Voyager.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
He's the best part. Well, he's one of the better.
He's one of the best parts of Voyager. There's not many good parts of Voyager.
It's still Star Trek, so I like it.
It's the Star Trek that launched the network.
That's right. It was the.
UPN.
That's right. All right, my number 3. I'm going to say his name wrong, and I will say that I was on the bubble of putting those two in. But Peter Stormare,
Stormare.
from Constantine.
Oh yes.
I almost picked that. That was one of my. I was gonna say for my second one was a tie between that one and one other one.
I almost put
That's my number 1. He is fantastic in that.
my top 3. It wouldn't take anything. It'd take a grain of dust on the measuring scale for me to go to put any of them to number one. The three.
Well, I got someone I can put in as number one as a replacement. But yeah, that is my all-time favorite devil. I love that movie. I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with Constantine, the comic book, but on its own, and
it's very underrated, I think.
They're already talking about getting Keanu Reeves to show up in something as a multiverse Constantine, which I think is
really?
Yeah. But yeah, he is so good as the devil in that, and just the way he acts, and like the way he comes down in the white suit, but his feet have tar on them.
Yes.
And all that hot tar hits the ground, and then his feet. Oh, so good. And he's super creepy. And Peter Stormare's really good. And just about, remember, he was the crazy Russian astronaut in Armageddon.
I've tried not to remember Armageddon.
Oh, come on.
Whatever. Was that the one with Bruce?
Well, that's the one with Bruce Willis and the fantastic Aerosmith song.
Oh,
God, I hate that song so much.
They had a way of they went from being one of the best bands of the 70s to probably one of the worst bands of the 80s.
Oh,
hands down. There was another movie out around the time of Armageddon.
Yeah, it's called Deep Impact.
That's it. That was they were.
That was like the smart version of Armageddon. It literally was.
Thinking person's Armageddon.
Armageddon, yeah.
Here's an adult joke. What could be a name of a porno or a space movie? Deep Impact.
Deep Impact. Nice.
Deep
nice. I like that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, what's your number two?
My number two is Jack Nicholson in The Witches of Eastwick.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Because you always thought something was wrong with him, and then it becomes more twisted, and he just gets more twisted, and by the end of it, he just looks like,
Doesn't he grow horns? Doesn't he have little horns at the very end or something?
Yeah. And it was just, you just thought he was a creepy dude, and then he ends up being this weird, twisted, manipulating devil. It seduces everybody.
I remember when that came out and everybody was talking about it, I was like, I have like zero in. I mean, I have like
Cher was in it.
Cher was, once again, you put Cher
Michelle
in it,
Pfeiffer.
my interest level drops
Susan Sarandon.
exponentially. And
she was good when she did movies in the 80s. They were pretty good.
But I remember seeing it on like Showtime or HBO later, right after its release. And I was like, yeah, that was actually a really good movie. And, I was never a huge Jack Nicholson fan either, but I thought he was good in that. That was a good
I always thought he was creepy anyway.
And it was a good devil. He's absolutely a great devil in that movie, no doubt.
He's a movie star in that he almost always plays the same kind of role. It's a variation on the theme that he does. And when it works really well. I think works really well. Chinatown, The Shining. He's in some of my favorite movies. But then when he's not in those favorite movies, I'm kind of with you. I'm kind of like, whatever. This is kind of the same thing. But he's awesome. He was an awesome devil.
Yeah.
All right, Chip. Your number. Where are we at? We're on.
My number two. My number two.
Oh, why am I getting lost tonight?
I don't know. My number two is Robert De Niro from Angel Heart.
I almost picked that one.
I'd forgotten about that one.
Oh my God, that is such a good movie. It is such a creepy movie. It has okay, so I'm an idiot when I go to a movie. When I go to a movie, I'll take whatever you tell me, and I'll be.
You're in
when they do the twist,
believable universe, whatever it is.
I mean, I'm totally in the cave watching the shadows on the wall.
Drinking
I totally buy into it. So when it came out that Mickey Rourke was Johnny Valentine, and that was the devil coming for his soul, I was totally like, okay, I thought that was fantastic. It was a great movie. It's a good movie altogether, but he plays it so well, like the things he keeps doing, and like he's got like these weird long fingernails, and like that one time when he's talking to him and he's eating the boiled egg, like the egg is the soul, and all of that stuff, and then at the end that he's the devil. That was just he's a great devil. Now, and I've never seen it, but everybody compares that role to Al Pacino in The Devil's Advocate. Everybody says that those two roles are like.
That's actually my number 2.
There
That's
we
my
go.
number
Look
one.
At that. Look at that segue. Look at that segue.
Just rolling it all up there.
Well, well,
I've never seen it, but I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, and I will say Al Pacino almost, I feel the way about him, maybe a little less than I do in the Jack Nicholson vein, but he does a lot of similar stuff. But when he's in a movie that I like, it's a great movie. And that's one of them. He helps make that movie.
Yeah. I mean, he is the stereotype of what it is to be a lawyer, and he just ends up also being the devil. It just works. It works.
They're like interchangeable, is what you're saying. Devil, lawyer.
It is more of the thinking man, where the devil is playing, where the devil's playing mind games with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great example of that, and using things to seduce you, and
trying to break you down, get under your skin, manipulate you, control you, and then push you into a box that you cannot get out of. And now you just have to accept that you are what I made you. But also, disclaimer, we don't have anything against lawyers. We're making a joke.
Yeah.
Don't hate us.
What do you call 1,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea?
A good start.
Yeah, and that's from War of the Roses. That's actually the joke in War of the Roses that
I forgot about
DeVito tells when he didn't smoke that cigarette. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off. All right, so my two, is your one. Like I said, you can pretty much interchange any of the 3 that I picked.
That was my number 1.
Chip, what's your number 1?
Well, I have a new one, or I have a backup. So I use my backup. Number 1 is David Werner in Time Bandits.
Oh, wow.
And that is, once again, that's one that's like, is he the devil? Because he was just evil. Like, remember at the end when God's like, picked that up, he goes, oh no, be careful with that. That's pure, unadulterated evil. And it's just like a little charcoal briquette of evil. But he was great through that whole thing and all his little minions. And I mean, and that was a Terry Gilliam film. So you totally saw you saw Brazil in that movie, like all the stuff with Werner and the way those guys, all their costumes and everything. It was all just Brazil. It's the 15
person's Goonies. Not that I don't like Goonies, but it has, to me, it's had that sort of, I think maybe I saw them around the same time, but
Goonies came out a few years later, but I mean, I remember
around the same time.
I mean, it's got amazing actors in it. Sean Connery's in it. John Cleese, Ian Holm.
It's well watching.
We'll see.
Michael Palin's in there.
Yeah,
Shelley Duvall.
Oh, that's right.
It's a Terry Gilliam movie. Terry Gilliam was the animator and one of the writers for Monty Python. So when he made it, he basically got everybody from Monty Python in it. And then Sean Connery's great in it.
Yeah.
And it's a bizarre, I mean, it's very surreal. A lot of it is almost like a lot of his cartoons from Monty Python come to life.
Oh, wow.
Like with the giant foot and all that stuff.
The stills.
Yeah, it's a great.
I watched watching. I think it still stands up.
I watched it like during the pandemic when like it was on HBO Max. HBO Max has this one thing. It's the under the Turner Classic Movies thing. It's the Criterion Collection. Yeah. And I mean, so it's got great movies, classics movies.
Oh.
But yeah, I remember what I watched that, and then I love David Werner because he's been in so many things. Like he's the bad guy in Tron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's the Master Control in Tron, and this is the most important one to Scotty. He is the Cardassian that tortures Picard in the 4 or 5 lights thing.
Oh, that's right.
And he's been in several. Oh, and he's the Klingon. He's the Klingon ambassador in the Undiscovered Country. Yeah. So he's played several parts in different Star Treks and but yeah, and I just loved Time Bandits in general, but he was just great in he was in Titanic.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he's like the goon guy for Billy Zane's character.
I can honestly say, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of.
Is it you haven't seen Titanic?
I've never seen Titanic, and I never will.
It's so funny. Me and my ex-wife went and saw at the Dollar Movie, and I was like, and in the middle of it, I was like, I'm gonna go have a cigarette, and I got up, and this guy goes, dude, where you going? Like behind me, I go, I'm gonna go have a cigarette. He goes, I'm going with you. And they're like, you're gonna miss the best part. And they're like, what do you mean the best part? They haven't hit the iceberg yet.
Yeah. There was totally enough room on the door for both of them.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
There was some
they could have shared.
Something I saw not too long ago, and
Jack was tiny.
They were asking, who played Jack? What's his name?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, they were like, there was enough room on that door, and he's like, I'm not getting into that here. I'm not talking about that.
I have seen the Futurama, and I have seen the Rick and Morty. So
that's all you need. And it was the highlights.
By the way, and David Warner was also the representative of Starfleet in the Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Yeah, he's like one when they list people. He did a couple. He did Deep Space Nine. He did.
So he played the same Cardassian character from. Yeah.
So I mean, I think that he's one of those that. Just like the guy who played Sarek has been in,
Oh yeah. He's been in because he was a Romulan.
Yeah, right.
First before he was cast as Sarek. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Well,
he was one of the first Romulans on the show.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, but back to Terry Gilliam, directed 12 Monkeys, which is what I don't know why. Well,
that's a good one.
Why. I went back and watched it during the pandemic. Have you ever watched the TV show?
I remember it came out, but I never watched it.
It's always been on my short list to watch, and I just never have.
I liked the whole the time loop thing in I thought that was pretty original at the time.
Brad Pitt's great in that.
Huh?
Brad Pitt's great in that. Bruce Willis is great in that.
Madeline Stowe, that was back in Madeline Stowe's days.
I saw an interview with her, and she said she's like, God, she's like, we were having all these issues with Bruce Willis, but he is a method actor. And the whole thing was he was supposed to be almost a baby. And she was like, when I watched the film, when I started seeing the dailies come in, I was like, oh my God, oh, okay. And then she was like, I was totally fine with anything that he did off of screen after that, just because of how great movie. I think it's a great movie. And that's a great, Brad Pitt happens to be in two of my favorite movies, 12 Monkeys and Fight Club. So and I don't know that I like him in anything else. That Coen Brothers movie, he's funny in that. Burn Notice or whatever.
Burn Notice.
Yeah.
Burn after reading.
Burn after reading. That's it. Burn Notice is different.
What's that one movie he was in where they were killing Nazis? Or the Nazi killers?
Inglourious Bastards. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that one's a good movie.
That's a great movie too. Well, he's also in Seven. Now that I start thinking of it, he's been in a lot of decent movies. Anyway.
You should. By the way, just to throw it out there, I went and saw No Time to Die yesterday.
Good?
It's good. It's
okay,
real good.
I'm gonna go see it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
he's not my favorite Bond, so I have issues watching him be Bond.
He's amazing as Bond. Who's your favorite Bond? Timothy Dalton?
No.
That's an insult. Like if you're a Bond fan, I just shit on you. Because if you're a Bond fan and somebody goes, "Who's your favorite Bond?" Timothy Dalton. I mean, that's like a smack.
Yeah. Sean Connery is my favorite.
Pretty much the classic. And then the guy who was only in the one from Russia.
Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Right.
What the hell's his name? How do I not know his name?
I actually think that Timothy Dalton got a bad rap because he didn't write those movies. Those movies aren't written well.
Well, and he also was.
And Pierce Bronson went to took the Bond movies to new shit-tacular.
Yes. I agree.
Into it. I mean, GoldenEye, not that bad, but man, that one with Halle Berry, where he's riding around in a car in an ice palace.
The car that turns invisible. The Vanquish, the Vanish.
That's the worst Bond movie ever. So Timothy Dalton got.
Timothy Dalton also, remember, Timothy Dalton made his 2 movies during the height of the AIDS epidemic. So they actually had him written where he never slept with the good girl. He only slept with the bad girls. Because the 2 girls that were in, like, I watched this documentary about them, and Marion Diabo and the other girl who is the actress was married to Richard Gere forever. I can't remember her name, but they're like, we're the only 2 Bond girls that never got to sleep with James Bond. What the hell?
Timothy Dalton's great in Doom Patrol.
Yes, he is. He was good in Doctor Who.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
George Lazenby is the guy who was only in the one.
My friend,
the thing that kills me, in that movie, he married the girl from the Avengers.
Yeah, dies.
And then she dies at
Spoiler
the end.
alert. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that.
Yeah, spoiler alert from the movie from 1969.
Is it Rachel Weisz? No.
No.
This is way that. This is pre that.
This is 1969. Hold on. Diana Riggs.
Yeah,
the actress.
Show, not the Avengers.
Okay.
Yeah, the old British Avengers with Patrick Nahey or whatever. But yeah, and then they made reference to her gravesite in I can't remember. I think it might have been one of the Roger Moore movies. So
right. All right. Well, I haven't done my number 1.
Oh yes, so sorry.
No, that's all right. Well, I'm totally gonna mess up this actor's name. It's Rosalinda Celatino, Celentano, and it's in Passion of the Christ.
Oh.
So I'm not Catholic, but
is that the wait a minute? Is Passion the Mel Gibson one or the Martin
Mel Gibson
one?
But no, which one?
Is Passion of the Christ? Oh, the Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation.
Yeah, that's different. This is
Mel Gibson as a director.
Right, Mel Gibson's the director.
Right.
But yes, the actor that played the devil in that is pretty. It's one of the better. I thought one of the better things about the movie.
Yeah.
So, and I'm
never saw it.
You ever saw it? It's. I can see why people wouldn't watch it, but yeah, I mean, it's supposed to be. I'm not Catholic. It's supposed to be off the 12 stages of the cross and all that, but the devil, the actor that played the devil in it was.
Yeah.
And
it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it really was. That was the whole. I think that was
the whole point of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to pay money to go see shit that's hard to watch. Also, I'm not going to give any fucking money to Mel Gibson.
Well, you still can. You don't get as much of a payoff from watching the South Parks if you haven't seen
the South Parks. I would absolutely give those guys money. I'd send those guys $5.
Well, there is a South Park. There is a South Park where the kids go to get Mel Gibson to force him to give them their money back for watching Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
And he's crazy. They go and see him, and he's dressed. It's like they took and cut out his head and put it on a cartoon body.
Oh my God!
Like tiger blood.
It's the head from. It's the picture from. At one point.
Lethal Weapon.
No, well, that's one of them. No? The other one was. It's from. The one I can't believe I can't think of it. He did the Patriot, the American version of this, and then there's what's the big
Braveheart.
Braveheart. It's
okay.
Late and I can't think, but yeah. But anyway, no,
they got super creepy looking that play that.
And the way you should go YouTube like some videos. It's
a woman.
Yeah, and slithers around, and it's almost and almost plays it asexual in a certain kind of way.
Right.
I'm trying to say it's really it's pretty creepy.
Well, wait a minute. So if Mel Gibson had a female devil, what's the problem with Christie?
That's what I mean.
Oh, full circle.
All full circle.
We brought it back.
Because he's cutting edge, way ahead of.
Yeah, that Mel Gibson, he's cutting edge with his psychoness.
His tiger blood. You know, he was drinking it. He was drinking tiger blood and then shooting himself up with human growth hormone, like they give kids that are too short.
You know, also, the whole time he was on that anti-smoking drug that they said that was the problem, that it kind of drove him crazy. What is it called?
I'd imagine it was drinking tiger blood.
I thought that was tiger blood. I thought that was Charlie Sheen.
No. Well, I think a couple of them, but Mel Gibson, definitely. Oh, let's see.
What was the last thing? I don't even think.
Chantix. He was taking Chantix.
Really?
And because, he's always been like a super horrible smoker. Like he smoked like multiple packs a day.
Like Michael J. Fox.
Not Michael.
Yes, Michael J. Fox. So you know that when they were filming Family Ties, Michael J. Fox would be doing a scene. He would walk up. Somebody would have a cigarette lit for him. He would walk over and
wow. I know, like John Cougar Mellencamp. I remember him talking in an interview. He said, I was so badly addicted to cigarettes, I would wake up in the middle of the night to go have a cigarette.
I think all three of them are rather short too. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're all kind of built the same way.
I should not have Googled this. I go, Mel Gibson drinks tiger blood, and I'm getting Mel Gibson drinks the blood of innocent children.
Nice.
He's not what you think. Huh? It's like he's part of a satanic pub cult that drinks the blood of children.
That's QAnon. That's literally QAnon.
And he has a pizza. He has a pizza place.
Child's Blood Pizza.
No. What's the last movie that he was in? Has he had a hit in the past 15 years?
I don't know.
He'll always be next to me.
He got in trouble for saying a lot of anti-Semitic stuff, and then he got kind of blackballed a little bit. Oh, he was in The Fat Man. I watched that recently on Amazon. So it's an Amazon movie, and what it is, now hang on to me all the way through this, okay? He is Santa Claus, but he is like Santa Claus Rambo, okay? And the US government, the governments pay Santa Claus to make all the toys and stuff, and he's been sidelining, making weapons to make ends meet and feed all of his elves and all that stuff. Miss Claus is there.
Oh God, yes, I saw. Yeah,
and he has to go to war.
It's also got Danny McBride in it, so that means it's pretty much garbage. Anything they'll put Danny McBride in is shit. I hate that.
I watched it.
I think the last hit he had was probably what was that? Payback. That was probably the last. That's the last thing I can remember because I can't remember. I just remember that movie.
No, because he was in Signs after Payback.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here's what it is. Here's the part I forgot. He goes to war. Here's what it says. A rowdy, unorthodox Santa Claus is fighting to save his declining business. Meanwhile, Billy, a neglected and precocious 12-year-old, hires
use the word precocious. We're done.
Precocious hires a hitman to kill Santa after receiving a lump of coal in his stocking. So that's why there's war. And apparently there's a lot of hitmen.
When we do our favorite Christmas movies, Bad Santa is
Bad
Santa is fantastic. It's got the Gilmore Girl in it.
No, that's where I fell in love with
favorite.
This is technically a Christmas movie. I mean, it's got Walton Goggins.
Yeah, he's from Paulding County.
Yeah, he's in there.
He's local.
I don't remember who that is.
He's the bad guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And he's also in he's the convict guy in Predators.
Yeah, he's in Justified.
Yeah, he was the bad guy. in
Oh yeah, he's
Justified.
great.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, I saw him on the Beltline. He's not oh God, I can't think of the name of the character from Justified. He's fantastic on that.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, Lloyd Crowder.
And funny, the
Fantastic.
girl, the actress who plays his wife.
Yeah,
in
Boyd Crowder.
Justified, went
Mhm.
to high school with Shelley, my wife.
Really?
Oh, cool. Yeah, he was in Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. Yeah, he was in that, and
Great. He's really good, and he's just good. He's a great
Yeah.
character actor.
Yeah.
He is
too
fantastic.
bad he's in that shit movie with Mel Gibson and Danny McBride.
Well, he was in that other thing, that other
Wow.
HBO thing, Principles.
Do you want to know what his name was? His character's name?
Sure.
So Mel Gibson was the fat man. Guess what he was?
Skinny Man.
He was the skinny man. Yeah,
Yeah, perfect.
skinny. He's skinny man, and he was the hitman trying to kill Santa Claus.
Is this
Well,
a new movie or did it just?
This is a Netflix movie.
This is it was last year, so
Oh, it was
2020.
last Christmas. In other words, because I was going to say, I mean, they're putting out Christmas movies pretty early, so it was for
Yeah.
last Christmas.
Yeah.
Did Netflix make it? I saw it on Prime.
Oh, was it? I thought it was.
Energy.
I thought it was made for streaming, but
Mm-mm. They made it. I think
he
maybe
was also.
Prime
Don't
made it.
forget, he was in
can't
that
tell.
classic Daddy's Home 2 with Will Ferrell and Marky Mark.
Classic. Yeah, he will always be Marky Mark, and then whoever's in the movie with him is going to be the Funky Bunch.
Oh, okay.
He married a girl from my hometown.
Oh, wow.
She was a model. So just because if we're throwing around people that
Yeah.
live in our vicinity, which no one gives a flying fuck about. So there you go. We have a minute and 13 seconds.
Let's not talk about Mel Gibson again. How about
Yeah.
that?
Me, I figured you probably that would not be your favorite, and like I said, he's not really my. I've only seen that movie once, but that was the thing I remember. Was,
No. That seems like a great devil. And
Yeah.
I looked up a list of devils in film, and she was high on the list.
It was
So.
it was creepy and weird. It was just weird and creepy, which is always
They
Have you
say
guys seen the? Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
about to go
I was
out.
gonna say, have you seen the trailer for Halloween Kills?
Yeah.
No, but it was playing at the movie theater that I went to see. I didn't even realize it was out. I thought it was a joke when I first heard about it.
No, it's better than the new Scream movie. There's another Scream movie, and it's not numbered. It's just Scream.
It's a reboot.
They should have gave up on those a long time ago.
There's money to be made. They ain't giving up on shit.
No
I'm
way.
assuming it's a reboot.
Yeah. Well, it's the some of the old characters come back because the murders have started again. Screamy
They're
style.
they're in the multiverse.
He was
They play that on like
they played on Night Flight.
Hmm.
that's right. They play it on like the Fox movie channel or something. It's on one of those or TMC or one of those. I watched it. I was like, no. Sorry, I had to discipline a cat.